Hello and welcome back to DIY Home Tips and Tricks. Today we are working on installing a wood floor in this bedroom. And you can see we have the planks laid out. We have several rows in place. A couple pointers I wanted to point out. See the orange squares that we have along the wall? We're using those as spacers to help keep it away from the wall in an even consistent amount. And then we also use one at the end where we're starting. You could choose to do the planks horizontal to when you walk in the door or vertical, but we chose to do this perpendicular as you walk in the door. So another thing I want to point out is this underlayment. Love this stuff. Makes it a lot quieter. Also too, it's really easy on your knees as you're crawling around on the floor installing. One of the tools that you're going to want is this awesome saw. It's nice, portable, works great for the little cuts that you need to make as you are cutting each board at the ends. If you get into a situation like a closet and you have to go around corners, then you may need to use a jigsaw for that. I use this hammer, like a mallet type hammer, and see that board there, it's crunched up. I'll show you that in a little bit, how I pound against that so I don't ruin the edges of the board. And then also too, at this end, I have this pull bar, and that helps pull it the direction, and you pound against here to pull it away from the wall. Also, sometimes I use this one. It's got a little edge on it, so that helps maintain if you have to pound against the edge of your board. Always want to have garbage bag in hand. All right, one of the things you'll notice is that I have 4 boxes of boards open. And the reason why that is you're actually supposed to take a different plank from a different box each time, just in case there's a slight variation in the color run, and then they don't all lay together. I've got a few scrap boards there from a different floor that I did. I saved those in case I need them. Also too, when I cut off ends from one end, I lean them up against the other wall so that I can use them as I'm starting the next wall. And you'll notice here, if you can see, we really try to vary the lengths so that you don't get a whole bunch of rows with the same lengths. So here's one here, there's one there, and put it back here and there. So you can see they vary. So I'm going to go ahead, and I did put that board in near the wall. And as you're doing this, you always want the end with the small lip facing away from the wall. The long lip goes towards the wall that you're installing. You want to put that short end in first and get in there as much as you can, and actually tip it up, because that's how it goes in. And then get as close as you can. Then you take your little pounder, place it against your board here, like that. Try to set this up so you can see it. And then I just pound against it. Let's go in. And you work your way down the board. A couple of hints as I'm going along is I actually sit on the board next to it to push weight down to allow this one to go under. Another tip is this board I actually have backwards, and this is how I'm going to measure it. I put it right up against the wall, and I make my line even with this board here. Again, I have it backwards. This is the short end, but it really should be the long end that goes into here. The way, by doing it backwards, this much here is going to get cut off. That wedged in there. Now, one of the things I do is I keep this pull bar in the board previous, and then I can just tap it over to pry it down a bit. You know, so using this mallet is nice and soft against the boards so it doesn't cause a problem. And then you just pound against here. And seams are nice and tight. I always go back over and tap a little bit more along the edge, like this. Make sure it's in there nice and secure. And how you can tell it's nice and secure too is when it's not, it actually raises up a little bit on this edge. And once it's down in there tight, it's nice and flat. One thing that helps if you have a tough time getting the board in is actually to have someone stand on the other board to weight it down. And, or you can kneel on it yourself and that'll help tighten the edge. Alright, so here is the finished product of the flooring. And you can see I did the trim work and how nicely the trim covered up those edges. So, all looks really nice, nice tight seams. That's exactly what you want. Show you the closet here too. Actually worked underneath those poles, lifted those up and put it underneath there. And just a little tip in the closet here. I actually ran out of boards with the long lip on them, so I just cut off the other side of the one with the short lip and butted them up together. I did have to do some creative sawing to make sure those edges fit tight. And by creative, I just, sometimes had to be a bit of an angle because one board wasn't always really straight, but you can see it doesn't even look any different. When I got to the edges in here, since they weren't locked tight, I actually nailed them down with the, face nailed them with a nailer, and that is all underneath the trim, so you don't even notice it. All right, well, thanks again for visiting DIY Home Tips and Tricks, and look to other videos for more ideas.